Hi guys, this is jsno.com and I'm here with a brand new Realme 12 Pro Plus. It has just debuted in Europe, where it's priced at around 400 to 500 euros. Okay, so we're dealing here with a special phone inspired by watchmaking with a periscope camera, which is something special in the mid-range field. Okay, so this is what the handset is like in submariner blue. It has a 120x zoom. This one is inspired by a watch and also comes with a special set of filters inspired by an Oscar-making movie maker. So this is the handset, the follow-up to the Realme 11 Pro Plus, which had a 200 megapixel camera. Now they're stepping it down a bit, a lower resolution but a superior sensor. What everything is about, you're going to learn over the next few minutes. So it's an unboxing. Let's see what's inside the box. Typical yellow box, and here you can find the case as well as the key used to access the slots, only nano SIM, no micro SD, manual and useful info, safety guide, and as I said before, case transparent and flexible. Inside the box we can find this charger with an USB-A connector, these two prongs which may require an adapter in Europe, and 67 watt charging. Is there anything below it? Nope, nothing. And of course the cable going from USB-C to USB-A. Okay, that's everything available inside the box, everything expected. And now let's see what the handset offers us. Quite a long boot, by the way, which you can blame on the fact that I just updated it software-wise. So I see that Realme has kept the curved edges of the screen with pretty narrow bezels. Nowadays it has become trendy to make flat screens for gamers. Okay, now aside from that, I'm going to talk about the design. So this is premium eco leather with a sort of stitching which also resembles a zipper here and a golden ring around it. Now the handset measures 8.8 millimeters in thickness and weighs 196 grams. It's IP65 certified for dust and water resilience. The colors include submariner blue, navigator beige and explorer red. Now this camera, the backside, this design is the brainchild of Olivier Saveo, a master of design when it comes to luxury watches. He has worked with Rolex, Piaget, Breitling and many more. He created this circular ring and these reflections here in the middle of the camera to make a beautiful looking handset inspired by watches. And he also envisioned this premium leather at the backside. We have a frame here which is probably plastic, and by the way the screen with narrow bezels comes with a pre-applied protection from the factory. It's quite a grippy phone on account of the leather, so yeah, you will not drop it, it's not slippery, and also pretty well built. Now as far as the screen is concerned, it's a 6.7 inch AMOLED panel with a Full HD Plus resolution and 120 Hz refresh rate. It shows 1 billion colors and goes up to 950 nits in brightness. Narrow bezels, as I said before, screen to body ratio 90.4%. Now, aside from that, I think it's time to address the inner side of the phone, and we go here and we talk about the CPU, which is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 2. 4 nanometer GPU is Adreno 710 octa-core, and it's also spotted on the Redmi Note 13 Pro 5G and the Poco X6. Quite a lot of resources here. We're getting 12 gigs of RAM as well as 512 gigabytes of storage. There are also versions with 8 gigs of RAM, 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. No micro SD, by the way. And just so you know, you can actually expand the RAM here, going to About Device and pressing here. You can expand the RAM by up to 12 gigabytes. What you cannot expand is the battery capacity, which is 5000 mAh. It has 67 watts wired charging and it's supposed to reach 50% in just 19 minutes. Aside from that, we have stereo speakers. One is at the bottom and at the top side is probably this one here. There's no audio jack, just so you know. We do have an in-display fingerprint scanner around this area here, and it's an optical variety fingerprint scanner. On the connectivity front, this device provides you with typical stuff like 5G, like Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, GPS, GLONASS, Galileo BDS and QZSS, and an USB-C 2.0 port at the bottom. Now on the camera side of things, at the top here at the front side, you can see a cutout for a 32 megapixel shooter with f2.4 aperture and also Full HD capture. At the back side there is a beautiful camera module with the promise of 120x zoom, digital of course, dual LED dual tone flash, and yes, there's a periscope camera here. However, the main sensor is also interesting. 50 megapixel, Sony IMX890 seen on flagships last year, and f1.8 aperture. It also has optical image stabilization and multi-directional phase detection autofocus. This one here is the periscope 64 megapixel camera with f2.8 aperture and also the focal distance of 71 millimeter. It also has optical image stabilization, 3x optical zoom and phase detection autofocus. So that's pretty much it as far as the sensors are concerned. Once again, 50 megapixel main, 64 megapixel periscope, and the third one is an 8 megapixel ultra wide. 120x zoom digital of course, and 4K 30 frames per second maximum video capture. We also have gyroscope assisted stabilization, plus a lot of camera options here, and I do mean a lot, as you can see for yourself. There's high resolution, time-lapse, text scanner, tilt shift, panorama, slow-mo, dual view video, group portrait, this is actually new, capture moments when people come together and bring visual clarity to facial expressions. Okay, pro mode, movie mode, long exposure and a starry mode. Movie mode shoots things in a more cinematic manner. There's a special aspect here going on, something like a special ratio which you'd find in the movie world, 2.39/1 with extra stabilization and more. Now we go back, we have the photo mode here, we got the video area, there's a special stabilization ultra steady only for full HD, 4K 30 frames maximum, and the street capture with a bunch of extra filters like journey, maverick, memory, desert, street, black and white plus, 90s pop, cinematic and more. Now speaking of filters, before we get into that, there's also a night mode and an extra baked in night mode which you can find in the settings. Auto Nightscape is the name. Now, Realme has worked with artist Claudio Miranda, a cinematographer which has received Oscar awards. He's behind movies like Life of Pi, Top Gun Maverick, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And he is offering us some filters for that. We have Journey for Life of Pi, Maverick for Top Gun, and Memory for Benjamin Button. So yeah, trademark looks of his trademark movies now applied in the camera interface. There's also a partnership between Realme and Qualcomm for light fusion and night eye special technologies to create improved nighttime captures. Now, as far as the software is concerned, the phone obviously runs on Android 14 with a bunch of tweaks. We have the phone manager here, including a virus scanner, storage cleanup, and more. You can also customize the interface with the special icons which Oppo always offers, and also Realme and also OnePlus, since they're related. We have here material, pebble, custom, and more. But there are also extras in the settings area, special features. We have smart suggestions, which should remind you of your Bolt Food, Bolt Delivery, or Uber, inspired by iOS. Should be a special window for that at the top side, even on the lock screen. Split view for split screen needs. Flexible window with floating windows for multitasking. Quick return, you can go back to an app by quickly pressing the screen. Quick launch, after unlocking the device with the fingerprint scanner, you swipe up and retreat it to a selection of shortcuts. Smart sidebar, which you probably already know from a bunch of other phones. It's from the side here, appears and triggers a bunch of applications which can be open in a floating view. And there's also a kids mode and a simple mode available as well. Okay, plus something called snap cards, which I have yet to investigate, but we'll probably do in the final review. And also there's the game space with a special interface trigger from the left side of the screen, which triggers the frame rate for the vibration, do not disturb, screen recording, and other tweaks for your gaming experience, even though it's not a gaming phone. So in a nutshell, this is the Realme 12 Pro Plus with 120x with a periscope camera, with cinematic filters, with a Rolex watch-inspired camera module, and with lots of goodies when it comes to performance. Okay, this is pretty much it. This is the first contact with a high mid-range phone, something we will rarely see, a periscope camera on a mid-range phone. We'll be back with a full review very soon. It has just arrived in Europe. I'm particularly curious about the camera and the processor, because I haven't seen it in a while since that Redmi I mentioned before. That's it from us. Goodbye.